the night. This is the biggest pot of the big game.
It's like a huge hand.
It's not allowed to run twice. It's 89,000 pounds.
Hey guys, it's Alex Torelli, and welcome back to the hand of the day. Today's hand is for you guys, my readers. You guys have been asking me about this hand forever, and I finally got around to doing it. It's a hand I played with Jennifer Tilly in the PartyPoker Big Game. We play a massive pot, and I'm going to walk you through my process. Actually, the first time I talk about this hand publicly. But I'm giving you a short video on it here today. If you guys want more action and information about this hand, exactly the math behind the hand, and a lot of the information that I use to review hands and the ways I make decisions and sort of the study process that I use to improve at poker, head on over to my blog after this video, alectorelli.com. There's a link in the description, and I really walk you through exactly the math behind the hand and basically the study process I use to review hands and sort of determine what the best play is for me. So I think you guys will get a lot of value for that. Absolutely free. Head over to my blog and check it out. So, as I mentioned, today's hand comes from the PartyPoker Big Game. We had been playing, I think at this point, nearly 24 hours. I remember I pulled a 36-hour, 48-hour session. I think I played the whole time. So, I don't want to use my time or being tired as an excuse. It's something that you got to learn to push through. But I think at this point in the game, I should have probably quit because I didn't have the stamina then that I do today, and I hadn't had the experience in these long-term big games to really have the stamina that is required to play the long sessions that I've been able to do after my experience in Macau. So I think that's the first mistake I made in this hand, and it's really before the hand even got dealt. I don't think I was in the place to be there, and that sort of truth ended up compounding my mistakes later on. So this is a very humble video. I did make several mistakes in the hand. One about my state of mind in the game, my preparation to not have the stamina to be able to play those 24-hour sessions that you need to be able to play to succeed in these games, as well as the decision-making process throughout the hand. So hopefully you can learn something from my mistakes here going through the hand in general.
Jackie O thing going on. I'll tell you, the people who don't believe in sunglasses in poker have never played more than 24 hours straight.
So Jen raises to 300. She'd been very aggressive. I had been very aggressive, specifically against her, because of course I'm right to her left. We both had big stacks, 40,000 each at this point. So I've been re-raising her a ton at this point, calling her a lot, playing a lot of flops with her in position, really making it tough for her, frankly, and that's what I'm supposed to do to her left with a deep stack.
A little pocket pair.
Call. 15.
And three ways.
Every time I look, you just sleep away 5K more, you know?
Torelli's made it 900, and Carpenter's called along with Jennifer Tilly.
So I make it 900, and the small blind sort of wakes up with a cold call here, which he hadn't really been aggressive, he hadn't really been involving himself, so I expect him to have something like a mid-pair here, like 9s, 10s, jacks. Pretty solid range with a cold call, and of course, as I expected, especially with a call, Jen calls as well, only 600 more for her. I think she's calling pretty much with her entire opening range here, which is, you know, a lot of suited cards, quite a broad range that Jen could have. So we go three ways to the flop. The pot's 3,000, and the flop comes pretty good for me. Queen 8-8 with 2 diamonds. I flopped a nut flush draw. And most importantly, I think that the small blind's going to have a tough time continuing on that board texture. Unless he has specifically ace-queen, I don't think he can really continue with something like 2 jacks with Jen behind him. And if he does continue, I'm going to win the pot on the turn of the river anyway by barreling. So great spot for me to c-bet. Checks to me, I c-bet 1,500 into 3,000. I don't really need to be betting any bigger here. And he goes ahead, and now the small blind check raises to 3,800. So I think I'm a little suspicious here of this raise. He's not loose enough to cold call with like 8-7 suited in the small blind. He only had like a 15 or 20k stack. He would 4-bet or fold that hand, and if he does call with 8-7 suited and flops trip 8s, power to him, he's going to stack me. I think it's too loose of a call pre-flop, so I never put him on an 8. He could have queens full, but I think he always calls with that hand to trap Jen and trap me, frankly. And so I really put him on ace-queen at the best, and I think, you know, he might fold that hand if I jam, maybe not, but I mean, even if he has something like 2 kings or jacks, 10s, or 9s and just trying to figure out where he's at or trying to take down the pot, he's going to be folding to me a lot. So my plan here is to jam, and I was kind of taken aback when Jen ended up 3-betting here, and I didn't really given enough. I was too emotionally invested in being excited about going all in that I didn't really separate myself from the information and think as much as I needed to about exactly what my range was versus my hand was versus Jen's range and how my hand plays out.
I was going to say, do you like Tilly
Re-raise to 9,000.
re-raising here better than, is she shopping her hand either way, so she may as well raise? Is that kind of the idea?
I think so. I think if you flat call, and she might as well charge the flush draw. So she knows that one of the two of them has got a flush draw now. Absolutely for certain. The only reason, like I said, is we have all this metagame dynamic between, basically history.
Is he just having trouble folding a flush draw on TV?
No, he just knows that Jennifer Tilly is not as tight as some of these other guys maybe think, and he's played with her a bit, and he knows she can be a bit of a sick gambler.
I ended up thinking a while about this hand, and my thought process on the flop was, what sort of hands is Jen raising here? The more I thought about the hand, the more I realized that Carpenter in the small blind was actually going to fold. I was very certain about that, and so that even allowed me to contemplate going all in and continuing with the hand. If I thought Carpenter's hand range was valid, of course I couldn't continue with this hand at all. I would have an easy fold. But the fact that I thought he was out of the pot and there was essentially 17K money in the pot already, a lot of it was dead, I was faced with a tough decision. I couldn't really call because if I call and Jen leads the turn, now I have no fold equity. So my real option on the flop is, can I get her to fold something that she's raising for information or for value? Like maybe she has ace queen and she would raise that hand on the flop to sort of take down the pot, see where she's at. She can't really cold call, and then with me behind her maybe opening the door again, or with Carpenter still in the pot, she probably wants to just raise and take it down right now, and I think she's capable of raising with ace queen. So my question to myself was, is she going to fold that hand if I raise and go all in, number one, and how many bluffs does she have in her range? Number two, does she have something like a complete bluff? Probably not, but could she have something like king 10 of diamonds, jack 10 of diamonds, 10 9 of diamonds? Probably so. And I was trying to think about, okay, what is my equity against her range, and do I have enough fold equity that she's gonna fold often enough that I could win the pot? Does she have something like queen jack suited often enough, or king queen? And can I get her off that hand? So I run the numbers a lot more on this, and I show you all the math exactly on my blog, much better than a human could do after playing for 24 hours. That's why I use these programs afterwards to figure out, was I right in my assessment, and exactly how much equity did I need to have, or how likely was it that she was actually going to fold? And I break that all down for you on my blog at alectorelli.com, so be sure to check that out for more. But for the scope of this video, I think that in essence I didn't have enough fold equity. I think that too often while she is going to be folding ace queen, king queen, and probably those jack 10 of diamond flush draws, which I actually crushed those hands, I think that too often she's going to have an 8 because she's capable of calling pre-flop. This really comes down to her pre-flop play. She's going to be opening and calling 3-bets pre-flop with most of the 8s that are suited. Like even as low as 8-6 suited is in her range, and all the way up to ace-8. So all of those 8s are in her range, and I don't think she's going to fold any of those, especially after how long I took on the flop. So I think that too often I'm going to be getting it in against an 8, and as you'll see on my blog, my equity versus an 8 is pretty damn low. So I should have folded here. I ended up going all in and made a huge punt.
I'm all in. They moved all in. Oh.
And obviously, the game's up for Ben. He folds instantly. Thank God for that. We couldn't wait.
Jen wants a count here, but because he's gone all in, obviously he's decided that he can get Jennifer off a queen, which I think he's definitely right. Even ace queen, right? I mean, he can get her off of here. So he's actually
fold a queen. She's called anyway. I mean,
she called with king 8 suited, and I lost. It sucked. I lost a 90K pound pot, which is close to 150K US at the time. So I was proud that after this hand, even though I took a brutal loss and I lost a huge pot at the end of this, at the middle of a long session, I was able to mentally put on my smile and just sort of brush it off and turn it around. And I think that I did make a ton of mistakes in this hand, but it's acknowledging that and realizing that in the moment and being able to brush it off and just having the fortitude to just say, whatever, that happens, I'm capable of more, I'm better than that, and to actually do that in the moment and not wait to lose a lot more money during the session, that really defines you as a player. I hear so many readers writing into me and saying, hey, I play really well, and then one thing happens, or I get tired, and this and that happens, and then I play one hand bad, and that's a catalyst that allows me to play terrible the rest of the session, and I lose all the money that I made because of a series of bad decisions. It's okay to make mistakes. Even the best players in the world at any sport make mistakes. What happens is your ability to play the next point, to play the next hand, to make the next shot, and to get back up on your feet. So it's not that how many times you fall down, it's not how many times you screw up, because you're never going to be perfect. It's about how fast and how many times you get back up that's really going to define you. So brush it off, get back to the next one. There's always another hand of poker, and that's poker. All right, guys, that's it for this week. If you guys have hands you'd like me to review, go over to my blog, alectorelli.com, click on Submit Your Hand, and send them over to me. I'll be featuring the best ones on this channel for you guys. So that's it for this week, and I'll see you guys next week for more of the Hand of the Day. Thanks for watching.